to day 12 of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days. It's the 12th day of Christmas, and what you get from me? A film I'm gonna talk about. I didn't plan that out very well. Today, we are talking about what has become a Christmas classic. While many people may not make an attempt to watch this every year, there is a big chunk of people that absolutely love this film, and I'm pretty sure it's up there in one of the greatest Christmas films of all time. Probably, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But the funny thing is, I don't just view this as a Christmas film, I view this as a film that could work on its own, not being a Christmas film. You'll see what I mean. This is Home Alone. Released in 1990, Home Alone focuses on the McCloster family. This family is absolutely ginormous. So ginormous that it's absolutely impossible to keep track of every kid when they go somewhere. And once you know it, they're all preparing to go on Christmas vacation to Paris. Of course, the morning that they're supposed to be leaving, they all accidentally sleep in due to a power surge that happened the night before. This causing the whole family to run around the whole house and prepare to make it out the door and make it in time for their flight that leaves in 50 minutes. Of course, the family ends up making their flight just in time and they shoot off into the sky ready to go to Paris. But the mother of the family, Kate, has a really bad feeling inside her gut thinking that they forgot something very important. And coincidentally, they did forget something. Their troublemaking 8-year-old son, Kevin, played by Macaulay Culkin. Kevin wakes up that morning to discover that his whole family's gone, which is very interesting seeing that the night before, he made a wish that his whole family would disappear, seeing that he's considered the outcast of the family. So now, Kevin is enjoying his Christmas vacation home alone and tending to himself by eating as much sugar as he wants, doing things that he's not supposed to be doing if his parents were home, and just living the best life he can live on his own. However, his fun slowly starts to settle down when he discovers that burglars named Harry and Marv, known as the Wet Bandits, who have robbed numerous houses in his neighborhood, are now planning to rob his home. So now, Kevin, being the only man in the house, has to take responsibility and devise up a plan to stop these burglars to protect his home. While all this is going on, the family desperately tries to make it back home to get to Kevin, because they actually care about him now. I can definitely see why people consider this a Christmas classic. It's funny, it's got a lot of iconic moments, there's a lot of memorable moments. It's generally a very fun film to sit down with the family and watch some funny slapstick happen. Because I know the one thing that everybody loves about this, along with a bunch of the other Home Alone movies, is the slapstick that goes on between Kevin and the Wet Bandits. That's kind of the only part everybody looks forward to. And also, it's what they mostly advertise. Going back to what I said, though, about it, kind of working as a standalone movie, though, on its own. With Home Alone, that title doesn't really say Christmas. I mean, it's only considered a Christmas film because it takes place around Christmas time. You know, the whole slapstick scene takes place on Christmas Eve. Kevin reunites with his family on Christmas. The setting is Christmas time, I get that. But if you take Christmas out of this whole entire film, I'm pretty sure it would have the same effect. Maybe it would be missing maybe like one aspect of it, but generally it would kind of be the same. Because when you narrow it down, it is just a film about a boy being left home alone after his family goes on vacation. You can make the vacation whenever, it doesn't have to be a Christmas vacation, but the family goes off on vacation, leaves their son home alone, and he ends up facing off against burglars who are going to rob his home. So if you take Christmas out of that whole entire film, I don't think it would, like, kind of ruin the algorithm of the movie, because Christmas does take a very small part in the film, because again, that's the time that the movie is taking place. But that's just like a little interesting thing that I thought of. You may disagree with me on that. This is another one of those films that I don't consider one of my favorites because I don't watch it every year. Occasionally I'll come across it, I'll catch the ending of it. I remember I saw this when I was very little, but the only memory that I have of it when I was little watching this was the ending when Kevin waves to his neighbor, the neighbor who's supposedly accused of killing his family, and there's just like no evidence of it. Okay, that's the only part that I really remember of. Also, his brother yelling at him and then Kevin running off. So the ending is genuinely what I remember. But as I got older, I remember watching it in full. I would come across clips almost every year. So I like the film. It suddenly turned itself into one of those holiday classics that not most people, but some people make it a point to watch every year, only because this is their Christmas film, just like my Christmas film, or the ones that I said are my Christmas films. There's too many. Alright, Elf. Elf is my Christmas film. Nah, I take that back. Santa Claus 2, that's my Christmas film. The slapstick in this film is pretty funny. It doesn't get that rough. It's a classic. I mean, there's really nothing else I could say about this film other than, like, it's enjoyable, you know? It's not too violent that parents should be concerned of like, oh, my kid's gonna do that when I leave them home alone. If you leave your 8-year-old child home alone and you know they're a troublemaker, don't do that. Because then you're asking for trouble. I think my favorite bit in the whole slapstick part is the reactions. Because they're just acting so dramatic about it. It's like every time they fall on the ground, it's like they're like in agony of pain. What comes into my mind when I think about that is like Power Rangers, you know, like how the Power Rangers would get into a fight and there would be a big explosion and like it wouldn't even touch them and they all just like fall onto the ground and it's like, whoa! And so that's really all I could say about this film. I enjoy it. I like it. It's not one of my favorites, but I enjoy watching it. It's one of those films that I find alright. I don't love it, but I like it. It's pretty cool. It's fun to watch, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out, because I feel like it is one of those films that everyone should see before they die. So that's important. And with that all said, that's all I got for you today. I'm not going to ask any questions because we're going to continue this discussion tomorrow, because Home Alone was so popular that it spawned a sequel, Lost in New York. And that's a different topic. Until then, thank you for watching day 12 of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoy it. That's the first time I said that in this project, I think, maybe. I don't know, it's been a few days. Thanks for watching The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing.